Every self-respecting child who is interested in comics, games or movies always wants to possess some kind of supernatural abilities or items like our favorite heroes. We want to fly like Superman, have a cool car like Batman, and wield the same techniques and weapons as ninjas. In turn, the gaming industry offers us a similar opportunity. Many amazing and exciting games were created for the Sega 16-bit console. One of the first was a game that became part of a collection called Sega Classic. The Revenge of Shinobi was one of the first to set the bar for coolness in all aspects of the game. The Revenge of Shinobi, known in Japan as the Super Shinobi, is a Sega Mega Drive action game developed by Sega RD2 and published by Sega. First released in Japan in December 1989. The game is an evolution of the AT and was one of the most impressive games in the Mega Drive's early library. A critical and commercial success, The Revenge of Shinobi is fondly remembered as a classic and seminal Sega game, and would receive numerous sequels, ports, and re-releases. The introductory cutscene and subsequent title screen feature the famous martial arts actor Sonny Chiba, dressed as Hattori Hanzo from the popular TV series Kage no Gundam. The criminal organization Z from the original game has reformed and renamed themselves Neo Z, literally New Z. Neo Z decide to have their revenge on the first game's protagonist Joe Musashi and his fellow members of the Oboro Ninja clan by killing Joe's master and kidnapping his love Naoko. Joe, having reached his clan too late, manages to learn of Neo Z's plot from his dying master. Joe decides to travel the world to gain his revenge on Neo Z and try to save his love before it's too late. Revenge of Shinobi does not reference the arcade sequel to Shinobi and Shadow Dancer, but Shadow Dancer: The Secret of Shinobi is considered a sequel to this game. The Revenge of Shinobi is a side-scrolling action platform game. The player controls Joe Musashi, who must traverse several districts before his final confrontation with the head of Neo Z. Joe is moved around with left or right, and can crouch with down. He can move while crouching with using D-pad. He can jump off a platform by pressing down plus C. Joe can attack with B, which throws shurikens at distant enemies or stabs or kicks enemies in melee range. Shurikens are limited and must be collected. The player can find a power pack item that improves shurikens, gives him his sword, and lets him block enemy projectiles while moving forward. These effects are lost if he takes damage. Joe can jump with C. A key move in The Revenge of Shinobi is a somersault, performed by jumping and pressing C again at the apex of a jump. The somersault maximizes Musashi's jumping height and enables him to throw 8 shuriken at once by pressing B. Additionally, some stages have foreground and background layers. Jumping between these is also accomplished using the somersault move. Joe also has a special ninjutsu ability that can be used once per life with A. The player can choose between 4 ninjutsu abilities, which can be selected by pausing the game with start. If Joe finds a ninjutsu item, he can use 2 ninjutsu abilities on the same life. The game awards the player a bonus for completing a round without using a ninjutsu ability, or for finishing with a certain amount of shurikens, 11 shurikens for each life that the player has remaining. Touching an enemy but not a weapon knocks Joe back. Extra lives can be found in the rounds and also given for every 50,000 points accumulated. If he loses all of his lives, the game ends, but it can be continued. The game starts with 3 continues. The player can choose between 4 difficulty levels: easy, normal, hard, and hardest. As difficulty increases, amount of starting lives decreases from 10 to 1. Musashi takes twice as much damage on hardest. From the options menu, the player can also choose the amount of starting shuriken from 0 to 90. Art of Thunder envelops Musashi with a shield of lighting energy that sustains damage for 4 consecutive hits. Art of the Fire Dragon summons 4 dragon-shaped columns of flame that move across the screen and damage all enemies in their path. Art of Floating improves Musashi's agility by heightening his jumping capability. Art of Pulverizing, the most powerful ninjutsu technique in the game. Musashi explodes, damaging all enemies on screen at the cost of 1 life. A variety of items can be found in each level, some hidden in the scenery, which can be broken open to release items. Power Pack: 5 shurikens, 10 shurikens, small heart, large heart, 1 life, ninjutsu, and bomb. Round consists of 3 levels, the last of which is a battle against a unique boss character. Ibaraki Province, Japan. This bamboo forest is where the game begins. Through these ancient ruins, Musashi must make his way to the House of Confusion. At the end of this district, he will have a fight with mighty samurai Blue Lobster. Tokyo. Musashi begins the stage near a rocky canyon. Winged ninjas swoop down from the sky to attack him. Past the waterfalls, Joe will continue his journey on rooftops of Tokyo. At the end of this level, he will have a fight with boss, with Shadow Dancer. The military base. This Neo-Zed military complex is heavily guarded by armed soldiers. Joe must contend against light infantry as well as enemies armed with flamethrowers and attack dogs. The second scene takes him on board an air carrier. If he touches one of the airlocks, he dies. The aircraft is controlled by a powerful supercomputer that houses a human brain, which Joe must defeat in order to progress. Detroit. Detroit is one big junkyard, with countless cars being moved by conveyor belts and into a melting furnace. A tough Terminator-like android guards the site. Area Code 818. This stage takes Musashi past skyscrapers and freeways. The final battle is fought on the top of an armored vehicle carrying a big ballistic missile. Chinatown. After a showdown with the Kung Fu gangs of Chinatown, Musashi hops on board a speeding train. Eventually he finds himself in the clutches of a shapeshifter who attacks in the form of Spider-Man and Batman. The first scene of this round contains a particularly hard jump, which you also will encounter in the next round. It's recommended to practice the jump here as you don't get punished for failing it yet. New York. Ninja and machine gunners guard the breakwater of New York's dockside. Leaping from boat to boat, Joe infiltrates Neo-Zed's container ship and comes face to face with Godzilla. The first scene has a famously hard jump. Jutsu of Fushin isn't helpful, in this case as it only increases your vertical reach of a jump, while horizontal distance stays the same. Neo-Z Marine Stronghold. Here Musashi will face his final enemy, the leader of Zed himself. His fiancée Naoko is trapped somewhere beneath the maze-like cellars of his stronghold, and Joe must terminate Zed quickly before Naoko is killed by the latter's trap. Music and sound. The game's soundtrack, composed by Yuzo Koshiro, has been highly praised. While game developers were generally discouraged or even prohibited from crediting themselves in their work, Koshiro was already renowned for his exceptional video game soundtracks. His celebrity was capitalized upon by directly crediting him on the title screen. A suite of music from The Revenge of Shinobi was performed live by an orchestra at the 4th Symphonic Game Music Concert in 2006 in Germany. The arrangement was done by Koshiro himself. Music from the game was also performed at two concerts of a video game symphony in Stockholm, Sweden in 2007, and during the encore at the most voted song when was performed in Singapore in June 2007. I'd be more than impressed if I'd play this game in the arcades, but on the Mega Drive, wow, it's an absolute treat for the ears and eyes. Each level is a graphical masterpiece, from the depths of Chinatown to the top of the tallest skyscrapers, and the animated opening sequence will leave you gasping with admiration. The sprites are simply superb. The animation on all of the enemies and Shinobi himself just has to be seen to be appreciated. On top of that are the incredible rock soundtracks and stunning sound effects. All that would be useless without decent gameplay, but Revenge of Shinobi doesn't disappoint here. It's challenging and amazingly addictive and keeps you glued to the machine for hours at a time. I just didn't want to stop playing. Revenge of Shinobi really shows off the abilities of the Mega Drive. If there is one game to buy for it, it's this. Revenge of Shinobi has aged very well indeed. Its graphics are still good, if no longer state-of-the-art. The music is top, and the gameplay is totally mega. What's more, Revenge of Shinobi has to be one of the best value Mega Drive games around. If you haven't got it already, you've got absolutely no excuse now, yet. Quickly, the lack of shurikens is painfully felt. Of course, Shinobi finds crates along the way which once destroyed reveal either bombs that bounce toward his head, health points, shurikens, or other surprises. But this is not enough to make it through the 8 stages, each with 3 levels that separate him from his beloved. So let me whisper in your ear, in the option for the number of shurikens there is a trick. From 0 to infinity there is only one step. A few seconds of patience should help you cross it. With 9 lives in easy mode, 3 continuous and infinite shurikens, nothing can stop Shinobi from going all the way. Even though it doesn't come without effort. The variety of situation, the exceptional quality of the graphic and animation will keep you on the edge of your seat in this game. The Super Shinobi is perfectly designed from start to finish and is on par with arcade games of this genre. There are no stages that can be mastered with technique and joystick, and no enemy is so difficult that it leads to frustration. The graphics are among the best I ever seen on the console. The scrolling into layers is incredibly smooth, and the animation is top, making any fan's life easy. The Super Shinobi is currently the best cartridge for the Mega Drive, a must-have for all Sega fans. It were a few different covers for any regions, for Japan, for US, and for Europe. Which is better for you? What do you think about this game?